The administration is going to continue payments. What we call it, some people call it SNAP. I call it food stamps.
They would have cut
we will
SNAP
continue to
if
pay.
the government shut down. Let me keep going. What? If the government shut down, they were going to cut SNAP? This is what the Democrats... All right, y'all. It's September 30th, 10:31 p.m. Let's see how quickly I can edit this video. So situation at hand is that it looks like the government is going to be shutting down. This video is going to be Senator John Kennedy, Republican of Louisiana, is going to be giving a warning to the Democratic Party and to everybody out in the world that actually cares that the government is going to be shut down. And while they're doing this, I'm actually going to take a look and see what can possibly happen during the government shutdown, because I don't think I know. Apparently, government shutdowns happened before, but I think this is like my first time really focusing on politics and exactly what's going on to really, see what that all entails. Just go ahead and get right into it.
Well, Mr. President, it looks like we're going to have a shutdown.
And this was about 3 hours ago. And as of lately, it seems like they're still looking like they're going to shut down.
What does that tell us? I'll tell you what it tells me. It's simply that much more evidence that human evolution is a slow process. I thought humans had advanced more as a species, but apparently we haven't. What do I mean by a shutdown? Well, we can't keep government open without a budget. And tonight at midnight, our current budget expires unless we vote to maintain the status quo and continue the current budget as we negotiate a new one. Many of my Democratic friends say, well, what's the problem? The Republicans are in charge. The president's a Republican, and the Republicans have a majority in the Senate, and the Republicans have a majority in the House. What's the problem? They know what the problem is.
Well, they don't have all the votes.
We can't pass a budget. We can't keep government open just with Republican votes here in the Senate. We only have 53 Republicans. We need 7 Democrats to join with us.
Okay, so in order for things to actually vote, stuff like these bills, obviously it seems like they need 60 people. They need 60 representatives to agree to vote for the pass. If there's not 60, then it's not going to happen.
So for my Democratic colleagues to say, well, the Republicans are in charge and they don't need us, they know that's not accurate. And that's what's going on. Now, we've had a few shutdowns before, and every shutdown is different, but most shutdowns are a combination of both policy and politics in varying degrees. This shutdown, in terms of policy, makes absolutely no sense. None. What we have proposed to our Democratic colleagues and the minority leader, Senator Schumer, is to make no changes to the current budget. We just want to continue the current budget and keep government open until just before Thanksgiving to give us more time to negotiate a permanent budget. We did that many times when President Biden was president and when the Democrats had the majority. In fact, we did it 13 times. Not only have Republicans done it, but Democrats have routinely.
And I'm pretty sure, if I recall, the last time there was supposed to be a government shutdown was under Trump's administration again. I don't really recall that during Biden's administration. So it seems like the shutdown happens when they can't just come up with a vote, which means that both parties are at odds with the bill that they're or the budget that they're trying to come with. So it's interesting that is happening once again. Let's see. When was the last government shutdown? Last government shutdown was December 22nd, 2018 to December, during Trump's administration.
Done it. But this time, the Democrats have said, no, 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 no. We want more. And you may be thinking,
So what is
okay,
more?
that's reasonable. What do you want? Well, it's not reasonable. In effect, what the Democrats are saying to us is that we're going to close government unless you Republicans agree to make it bigger.
What is that?
We don't want the status quo.
Wait,
We want you to commit to spending $1.5 trillion.
okay. So now I definitely don't understand. Now I definitely don't understand. What is the whole purpose of this? You're forcing the hands of the Republicans, proposing a bill, proposing a budget that you know that they're not going to take, with something that's going to make them pay more money, which you were already claiming that they were doing. They were already spending too much, and now you're going to propose a budget that's going to make them spend even more money, knowing that they're not going to take it. So then I don't understand. I'm kind of confused on what the idea is here. I don't get what the angle is.
More than you're spending now. And we, the Democrats, are saying, are going to tell you how to spend it.
Okay.
First, they want us to repeal all of the Medicaid reforms that we did in the reconciliation bill.
The big beautiful.
Some call it the one big beautiful bill.
Okay.
The one big beautiful bill would not reduce Medicaid. In fact, it would go up about 2% every year as a result of our bill. But it would say to people who are on Medicaid, who aren't eligible for Medicaid, that you're not going to get Medicaid anymore. Dual eligibles, people who sign up in Louisiana and
So the big thing that everybody kept saying about, they're taking away Medicaid, They're taking away Medicaid for those that are in this country illegal again, for essentially people that aren't residents, that aren't citizens in this country. So if you're not a citizen here, you shouldn't get Medicaid. You shouldn't get insurance that's being paid by those people that live here. That's pretty much what that is. And they're setting a requirement that even if you live here, you're not going to be a freeloader. You're not going to get free insurance off of people who's actually working and paying for your insurance, and you're just sitting around doing nothing. That's what was in the bill as far as the Medicaid goes. But for some reason, people think that it's just removing it for everybody, all the old people, all the sick people, they're not going to get insurance and this and the third. No, if you meet the requirements and you can keep your insurance. Now, what these requirements are, I think you just have to be able-bodied workers. But I've said this in videos in the past. Let's just keep going.
Mississippi, that's fraud. Under our bill, they would be thrown off. The Democrats want them put back on. Under our changes in the one big beautiful bill that the Democrats want us to reverse, you would have to satisfy certain income levels to be on Medicaid. The law says if you make too much money, you can't get Medicaid.
Because you're supposed to be broke in order to get Medicaid. You're not supposed to be making that much money. The idea for Medicaid is that you have affordable insurance, which is what I thought Obamacare was supposed to be. Yet I recall during Obamacare, there was still a lot of people that couldn't afford to get. I don't know what is going on here anymore. I don't understand.
Medicaid is for the poor. In my state, we have found people through audits making $120,000 a year on Medicaid. So our bill, which the Democrats want us to repeal after just passing it, would say to those people that if you don't meet the income limits, you can't get Medicaid. So that's the first demand of the Democrats. Take out all the reforms that we made to Medicaid.
Because theoretically, if you're making X amount of dollars and you're working for, let's say, like a company, you're not a private organization, you're not working on your own individual self. If you're making X amount of dollars, you should be able to get insurance from your company that you're working with in most cases. So if you're making peanuts, then of course you're more than likely not going to get insurance from the company that you're working with if they even provide you insurance. Thus, we have Medicaid. But you got to be working or doing something in order to get Medicaid. Just like in order for you to get insurance from your work, you actually got to be working there.
In the reconciliation bill and throw them out the window. Number two, they want to extend the Obamacare subsidies. What does that mean?
What is that?
Well, first, let me say Obamacare was a mistake, and we know that now. When President Obama passed Obamacare, we were told that our lives would be better. Our lives have been worse.
Yeah, I recall
We were
that.
told that it would make health insurance more accessible,
and
more
affordable.
affordable. It's
Right.
done neither. On the non-Medicaid part of Obamacare,
I was too young to really, I guess, really experience that. I know I was in college and there was a point where I had to get off of my dad's insurance, and Obamacare seemed like the answer, but I don't know. I remember looking it up and just like, yo, how is this affordable? I was working at Chick-fil-A and I wasn't making anything. I don't know. It's weird. That's a figment of my imagination, so I can't fully say how actual good Obamacare was or wasn't, but
here, we've got, I don't know, 20, 25 million Americans who are accessing it. And for the most part, about 90% of them are low-income Americans. But the rest are making huge sums of money. Some are making $160,000 a year getting Obamacare subsidized by taxpayers. And that's not the way it was supposed to be. How did we get here? Well, it's simple. During the pandemic, when people were being laid off or losing their jobs or couldn't work, President Biden rammed through a bill to enlarge the subsidies. He took the cap off the amount that you needed to earn in order to get Obamacare. And those subsidies at the end of this year are about to run out. Now, the Republicans have said, we'll sit down with our Democratic friends and talk about how to extend them, but we want to reform the program because it's not right that people making $125,000, $150,000, $250,000, $200,000 a year.
There's no way. That got to be capped. There's no way. That I need receipts because there's absolutely no way.
Are getting their health insurance subsidized by the federal government. That's bone deep down to the mayor stupid. But the Democrats, Senator Schumer and his colleagues have said, no, we will shut government down unless you agree automatically to extend these subsidies, which were passed during the pandemic, after the pandemic is over, permanently. And that's just some of my colleagues' demands. I mean, you need an Excel spreadsheet to be able to follow their demands. Their demands to keep government open, you stack them here, you could stand on them and paint the ceiling. And that's not much of an exaggeration.
I don't know, man.
And when Senator
seems like quite an exaggeration. I don't know.
Schumer announced these demands, that's when I knew. I knew it in a nanosecond. We're going to have a shutdown. Because my colleagues, my Democratic colleagues, are very smart people. And Senator Schumer is a smart person. And he knew when he announced these demands that I could tell he wasn't serious. He knew they were unserious. And he knew that neither the president nor the other members of Congress were going to accept them. And you know what? Many Democrats know they're unreasonable as well. So that's why I say the policy part of this makes absolutely no sense. And that's because this isn't about policy. This
Right.
shutdown is about politics. Now, parties change, just like the human experience changes over time. Political parties change. My party's changing. So is the Democratic Party. And there is a wing of the Democratic Party, I call it the socialist wing. Some less charitable people call it the loon wing of the Democratic Party. And they are in charge right now. And the non-loon, non-socialist Democrats are scared to death of them. And this particular wing of the Democratic Party that's in the ascendancy, what do they believe? They try to out-weird each other all the time. They hate, if you listen to them, they hate Thomas Jefferson. They hate Abraham Lincoln. They hate George Washington. They hate Dr. Seuss. They hate Mr. Potato Head. They think our kids should be able to change genders back and forth at recess. Kids.
And this is a proven fact because certain states are trying to pass laws of this. Can't tell me otherwise. So what he's saying here is facts.
And if it's their preference, should be able to undergo sex change operations while minors paid by you, the taxpayers.
Also, facts. This is what they want to do. Taxpayer dollars to be able to allow kids to just choose whatever the heck that they want, as though adults aren't here to kind of guide them and teach them and bring them up. Again, I don't know how Christians can vote for that, but hey.
They believe that. They believe in open borders.
Again, this is also true. So, homie hasn't lied yet. Maybe about the stacks of policies that they were trying to do. Maybe yes, but
They believe that if you support the law, which says you have to be vetted to come into our country, if you support the law, you're a racist.
Yep.
I think if you support the law, you're being prudent. But they believe in open borders.
Some people. Yes,
and my Democratic friends are about to elect a new.
Notice he says friends. Take that how you wish, but notice how he says friends. Why is it that we all still can't be friends with other people from that think differently? I wonder. That's the biggest topic now that's happening in the world. Why is it that we can't be friends with people on the other side when he literally just said, my Democratic friends, my Democratic colleagues, even friends, he could be exaggerating his terminology for friend, but colleague is very specific, and he used colleagues several times. So even everything that's going on, they still work together. They still sit and they still have conversations, because everything that everybody's worrying about right now is dumb. It's dumb and it's stupid that we're arguing about it and causing all this division. Let's keep going.
New mayor in New York City, who is a member of the Loon Wing. He's a self-avowed socialist. He has said if the prime minister of Israel comes to New York City, he will have him arrested.
I don't know how you could do that.
But this is not the majority of Democrats that believe this. I don't think that for a second. And I know many of my Democratic colleagues here don't believe that.
And this is the crazy thing. I'm trying not to make this too long. Look at this guy's a Republican, and this is him speaking. Can you say that he's a devout Trumpy? No, I don't think that he's a devout Trumpy. He's just a Republican because that's the side that he has right now. Even Trump, I don't know. Maybe Trump would. I think I've heard. I'm pretty sure Trump has said at some point that it's not all Democrats that's like this. There's some of them that that actually care about certain things that other Democrats don't. But I don't know, guys. It's very weird that we just. Just keep your eyes open. That's all I'm saying. Keep your eyes open and your ears more open.
But
Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears even more open, and listen to what both sides are saying and how they're saying it and the words that they're using. Because I don't know.
the loon wing, the socialist wing, the angry Gary Busey wing of the Democratic Party is in ascendancy. And they've got a lot of power, enormous amount of power.
Well,
And many of my Democratic colleagues in the Senate are scared of them. And the loon wing is mad at many of my Democratic colleagues in the Senate. They shouldn't be, but they are. And therefore, many of my Democratic colleagues in the Senate are scared of the loon wing. And they want the loon wing to love them. The loon wing will never love them. They're better off doing the right thing, and they know what the right thing to do is. But that's why I say this is a political decision, and that's why we're going to shut government down. Now, once you shut government down, unless you're prepared to leave it shut down permanently, and maybe my Democratic colleagues are, but I don't think so. I still, maybe I'm naive, but I still think too many of my Democratic colleagues in the Senate know better. Once you shut the government down, you got to get back open.
right.
How are they going to get it back open? We're not going to agree to their demands. Right. $1.5 trillion. They know we're not going to agree to it. So how is my friend Senator Zimmer going to get government back open? You know, there's a famous movie line. I don't remember the movie. I think Denzel Washington said the line. I love Denzel Washington. He's what cool looks like. The guy's awesome. He's a total baller, man. I love Denzel Washington.
Is a total bar.
But anyway, I think he said in one movie, if you pray for rain, you better be prepared to deal with the mud. And truer words were never spoken. So if you want to shut down, I say to my Democratic friends,
fair.
You better be prepared to deal with the mud. How you going to get it back open? How you going to get it back open? I wouldn't want to be in their shoes to have to make that decision. Let me just say a few words. Every time we do a shutdown, it scares the living daylights out of the American people, especially our elderly. It breaks my heart. All of us get phone calls from folks scared to death. They're not going to get their Social Security check, or they're not going to be able to see their doctor, and it just breaks my heart. So I want to give them a little bit of assurance.
Wait. So you're telling me that during the government shutdown, there are things that there are programs that are just cut fundings in specific areas that are cut, these same fundings that the Democrats were saying that the Republicans were going to take away from the people, and yet here we are doing a government shutdown that can take away these fundings from the what? Where? I don't understand what's going on right now. Okay, let's keep going.
During the shutdown, the executive branch will be in charge.
The president, okay.
The Trump administration is not going to do anything to hurt our elderly. I want to assure them of that. If you're receiving a Social Security check or Medicare or Medicaid or a veteran's disability, your checks are going to continue.
You're telling me that would have been taken out during the government shutdown? And the Democrats that's supposed to be for the people is okay with this. This is the risk that they're willing to take. That's what it sounds like. This is the risk that the Democrats are willing to take to prove a point. It seems like what they were saying that the Republicans were going to do if we voted them in office. Now they're just willingly making that risk in actually doing that. That's crazy. Or at least that's my understanding of it. Let me know if I'm reading it wrong. That's my understanding of what's happening right now.
We will make sure of that. Trump administration will make sure of that. Government may be shut down, but essential workers will still be there to make sure those checks are sent out. If you're hungry and you don't have the money to eat, we're not going to let you starve to death. The administration is going to continue payments. We call it, some people call it SNAP. I call it food stamps.
They would have
And
cut
we will
SNAP
continue the
if
pay.
the government shut down. Let me keep going. What? What? If the government shut down, they were going to cut SNAP. This is what the Democrat. This can't be real.
Payments for the women, infants, and children's program. Most of us refer that to WIC. You'll still get your mail. Don't worry about that. Postal Service will be working through the shutdown. If you depend for health care on your Veterans Administration and VA medical centers, they're going to remain open. So I don't want you to be scared about that. Now, you're going to notice an impact. Probably we've got 2.5 million federal employees. Probably 750,000 aren't going to be on the job. Under the law, they have to go home. So you will notice an impact. You'll notice it in our parks. You'll notice it in our museums here in Washington. If you're visiting, you'll notice it in many of the federal agencies. That's the law. They can't come to work in a shutdown. Doesn't matter who initiates the shutdown.
So the jobs that the Democrats were saying that Trump was getting rid of, now these people can't go to work. Now, granted, it's only for a certain amount of time. Like I said, the last government shutdown, which was in December 22nd, that was for a month. So theoretically, people went without working for a month, as opposed to, I guess, the Trump administration with the new big, beautiful bill and everything that Elon Musk was doing was permanently removing people's jobs. But the people that are working now are those that should have their jobs, for lack of a better term, if you know what I mean. I mean, the whole point of Elon Musk going and having these federal jobs being taken away from certain people and whatnot was because there were too many people that were working and not really doing much work and getting paid for it. Just like you would in a business, you do that with the government. So that's kind of the idea here, where now we're taking away the jobs from those that actually should be working to do something, and now they can't do their job. Because the Democrats didn't want to follow the bill or keep the bill the way that it was. They wanted to add more or prove a point. I don't know.
We still got a little time.
Okay, so he says that they still got a little time. It's 11 o'clock right now, and I don't see, last I checked, which was before this video, they still haven't decided they were going to do that. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull this over here real quick. This is just a quick ask ChatGPT. What happens during a government shutdown? What does that entail for the people when there's a government shutdown? As we already heard from Senator Kennedy, it affects SNAP. It affects federal workers, those that work in parks, those that work in public areas, stuff that was paid by the federal government. It affects, I mean, certain fundings, Medicare, Medicaid, all that stuff. But Trump said he wasn't going to do that. So let's see what happens. Normally, this is just ChatGPT generalized. Non-essential service pause. Many federal agencies and departments partially closed. Okay, partially closed. Employees deemed non-essential are furloughed, put on unpaid leave. Yikes. Essential service continues. Military, TSA, Border Patrol, Air Traffic Control, Social Security payments, Medicare, and U.S. Postal Service continue operating. Okay, this is good. So that still continues. Delayed paychecks. Federal workers and military personnel who remain on duty often must work without pay until funding is restored. Yikes. National parks and museums close. Okay, effects on the American people. Let's see. Federal employees and contractors, over 1 million workers can be furloughed. Contractors, janitors, cafeteria staffs usually do not get paychecks even after shutdown ends. Yikes. Government taxes, IRS and taxes. Tax refunds can be delayed if shutdowns is prolonged. Passports and visas may be slowed down or stop delaying traveling plans. So if you were planning on getting your visa or your passport renewed and it's in process and this shuts down, I hope you didn't have plans for traveling next month because that thing may not be coming in soon. Housing programs, federal housing loans, and rental assistance and HUD services can be disrupted. Programs like WIC often face funding risk if the shutdown is prolonged. Okay, economic ripple, consumer spending may drop as federal employees miss paychecks. Yep. Small businesses and federal contractors get hit. Yep. Tourism suffers, parks, museums, and historic sites. Yep. And yeah, interesting enough, guys. That's kind of what happens during this process. And like I said, it's all because the Democrats have some shiesty, I don't want to say shiesty plan. They just, I don't know. They've done this before and they're doing it again and they're being unreasonable. So now it's just a matter of what are the Democrats going to do in order to open this back up, because I don't think the Republicans are going to budge with this. As far as everything that he said in regards to the big bill that affected, let's see, those that are eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, I don't see a problem with those requirements at all. I don't. Y'all put in the comment section if y'all feel otherwise, but I don't see any issues with that. The Obamacare, trying to put everything back from the Obamacare, I don't understand why we would do that when we have Medicaid. Again, it's just stuff that over time we need to go back, we need to check, and we need to revitalize and make it make sense for what it's for. If it's for the poor, if it's for the broke, make it for the poor and the broke. But at the same time, we can't just have people that are poor and broke not doing anything. They actually need to be working and showing that they're working. This is how we produce a functioning society. Will there be loopholes? There'll always be loopholes, but this is why we have audits to make sure that there are no loopholes and that people are doing the best that they can to live, because everybody has an opportunity. We just cannot completely be dependent on the government to do so. But y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all feel. And if you are a federal worker, if you are somebody that works with the government, will you be losing your job and how much is it going to affect you? Let me know. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Peace.